Welcome back to Cards and Comics, guys. Hey, how you doing? I am recording this video before I go to Chile, so I'm doing a few videos to kind of edit, have fun with them while I'm gone, and have something to do in the hotel room in between my visits to multiple companies while I'm in Chile, doing my normal thing I do, making sure that the world is safe to eat food again. And here we go, guys. I'm going to do a vintage mail day. This is all vintage cards. Broke it up because I've collected a whole bunch of cool vintage. We'll start here with a cool card. 68 Gordie Howe Topps card. PSA 8. Vintage hockey to me is got some of the cooler designs ever made. They have the 65 set. They've got the Parker sets, which are cool. So I like the cards. I like hockey cards. Gordie Howe is a GOAT. Bobby Orr, these guys are just fun to collect. Ken Dryden's from my alma mater, Cornell. So I love his card. So cool card. And here's the back of that card. So you can see how cool the backs are. So first up, Gordie Howe. Next up, moving on into football. So I have this card already in an 8, I believe, but here is a 7, Johnny Unitas. And this is cool because it's the first card in the set. So it has a little bit of a first card premium. Really excited about this card. You can see the backs have these rub-offs, and this one is not rubbed off. So it looks very cool. Very old holder, too. Look at that. Old Collector's Universe pre-hologram holder. Also with the one-line number. So this is one of those cards that predates half-point grading. The card's off-centered. So if this card was better centered because it's got great corners, this would be one of those cards that you could say could have been, undergraded card, but it is. I don't think it is based on that centering. Next up, Gale Sayers. This is 1970 Topps 7.5, and again, super cheap card. A really great running back, and this set is one of the prettier sets ever made. It's unfortunately this is kind of the O.J. Simpson set. So, it's kind of dominated by his rookie card, which a lot of people don't want to have. So it makes the whole set kind of down a little bit in value. But yeah, so I also have Totoro and Spider-Man back with me. Some days you can see them, some days you can't, they kind of hang around. But they are my two favorite fictional characters at this point in time. All right, here we go. Baseball. We're going to start old stuff. 1933 D-Long Military Hall of Famer. These cards are super cool. These D-Longs, they are, here's the back. A lot of good information on the back. You can see a lot of text, not a lot of stats. So, yeah, just really like the set. I think the set itself is just really cool. And again, this is why SGC has this huge value to me in the hobby, is that these cards and these holders carry the same value as pretty much as PSA. To me, a lot of people think they look nicer. I do agree on sets like these. The SGC holder looks really cool. Now, Military 3.5. It's not a huge card, but, as I slowly buy vintage, you get more and more of those cards. And eventually you might run into the need to go get that Lou Gehrig card or one of the big Hall of Famers from that set and maybe put it together. And collect a whole set. That's kind of crazy. Next up, 52 Bowman Pee-wee Reese. It's a 6. I said I'm not going to card saw my way to always have an 8, but this card is really well centered and has some really nice color. And I think anything from this year that has nice color and it has a little bit of wax in the back, which is very common because I believe there's only a few cards in these packs. Maybe like 2 cards in a pack or something. So you had a lot of wax stains. So they kind of are a little more forgiving on this year for having just kind of faint wax stains. Next up is a card I may have shown off in my Instagram. I bought this and I paid a really big premium for the card. But it's such a nice card, and it is a hologram era. There you go. One line. 58 Willie Mays. So this is an older graded. This card is super nice. so well centered, and it's just, great blue color. I mean, it's just beautiful. Now, would I like a 7.5 and 8? Yeah, I would. Of course I would. But, at some point you got to just say, look, I've got another Willie Mays card for my collection. It will look great next to my 59, my 60, my 62, my 57, So, I was really pointing at getting some 50s Mays cards this year, and here's my first one. Super stoked to finally get one. And, yep, and it's a good one, 58 Mays. Now, my next card is a weird card. And sometimes you just get cards because you think they're a good deal. It is not something that I always look for, which is autographed vintage cards. But this one is Eddie Matthews, 62 tops. And it's not graded in terms of auto or card. It's just authentic. But it is a beautiful auto. Ballpoint pen auto. Very clear autograph. He died early on, and early in the collecting craze, so he doesn't have like the tons and tons of autos from shows that some of these guys do. So a little bit of a rare auto, but not impossible. But it's just cool to get his auto on a very nice card. 63 K line again. This card is really nice. It's just a really nice 3, and so I just saw it and I wanted to get it. It's only 7, but it's a nice 7, and just a clean, nice card. And I'm putting together the 63 set. I've been putting it together for years, and I finally have decided to kind of go more all in on that. This year to get a few of the big pieces. I've got the Clemente, I've got the Mays, Aaron, Clemente, Stargell. I need the Rose and Mantle. So this year, getting one of either the Rose or the Mantle would be a good start or good movement forward in that set. Here's a really interesting SGC card. This is a Phil Necro, I believe, second year Phil Necro. He had 2 double rookie cards. Not, it's kind of one of those transitional SGC slabs. But again, I think it's a cool card. It's a 7, not worth a ton, but Phil Necro is a Hall of Famer. Next up is a card I really was excited to get because I feel like it's just, again, 66 O-Pee-Chee. 66s are tough. 67s are tougher. But this is Pete Rose. You can see the back. It is an O-Pee-Chee. The backs aren't quite as clear, but it clearly says printed in Canada right there. And so there you go. 66 O-Pee-Chee Pete Rose. Just really love that card. Here's a card that I've got multiples of. I just, when I see this card selling for $30, I grab it. SGC 8, 67 Maz. I'm a huge Maz fan. As a Pirate fan, how can you not? He won a World Series with a home run. So not many players can say that out of him and Joe Carter. So there you go. Yastrzemski PSA 8, 68 tops. I'm pretty sure this is probably the second or third one of these I have. Being in the New York area and near Boston, I always stock up a little bit on Mr. Yastrzemski. When I was a kid, I would say his name was Yastrzemski, which my dad chuckled at and thought I was kind of silly. And then I finally realized I was saying it really, really wrong. 71 Phil Necro, again, just a really cheap SGC card. Anytime I see a Hall of Famer in a 7 or better, I usually, pay attention. If it goes too cheap, I grab it. All right, here's, so in one of my, in the PSA video, I do show, I'm going to send a CSG 8 for crossover. Well, I already have this in 8.5. So again, if it comes back in 8, that'll be just a card I'm going to use to trade or sell. Because I have this card, which is the highest grade I've got. And again, once I get to an 8.5, I usually don't upgrade at that point. I just keep the card. So this is what I call like a permanent card in my collection. I will not move this card unless I just want to get out of some positions and cards. But I would never move that card unless it was kind of like the last thing I was moving. Because that, anything at an 8.5 that's vintage is kind of a keeper. This card is like an inventory card again. Another Hank Aaron 73. I mean, I've got an 8 just hanging out right here, and I got an 8.5 somewhere else. So this is like the third copy of this card I've got. At least my third copy. So it's for inventory purposes. It's got some really interesting focus problems with it. If you look at it closely, you'll see it's not my camera on this time. It's really fuzzy, the focus on that card. So I think it's just a kind of an odd looking card. But Topps quality control wasn't great. Next up, Ted 774. I'm just getting some more of his cards just to have them, because I didn't collect a lot of Ted Simmons cards because he was a Hall of Famer, and so I'm just picking up some of his cheaper mid-70s cards. That's his like third or fourth year card. Here's a 75 Tim McCarver. This is it was a 9, and it's O-Peachy, so I grabbed it, and he's a really good player. Good broadcaster. Some people love or hate him, but he definitely is a name. So grabbed it. Just like I grabbed the 75 mini. I don't have this card, so I like Tom Seaver. I did a video on Tom Seaver versus Nolan Ryan, and so I always want to pick up his cards when I can get them cheap. And the minis are kind of cooling off again. We'll see if they ever take off and become more expensive than the large kind, the large cards from that set. But this was a really good value, and it's still an 8. And I just think it's a cool card. So that was an O-Peachy and a mini, so not an actual real Topps card there. Now here is my 76 Brett. I have an 8, which is a super rare card. This card was a top corner card. It's actually well centered on the front pretty well, but this is a card that when you flip it over on the back, usually it's way off center on the back if the front's anywhere close. And this card is no exception. It's not quite as bad as some other ones I've seen, but this card is a nice 7, and that's all you can say. Nice 7s in that card are hard to find. Another, as I go through the autumn, I don't have a lot of these later year 70s 9s, because you can get these cards in 9s and not break the bank. This O-Peachy, this Topps Mike Schmidt 78 screams 70 so much with that collar and his hair. I just kind of love that card, and it's cool to get a Schmidt card as a 9, and then same way for this card, which is the 79 Pete Rose 9. Now, this set's notoriously hard to get 9s in, and so because of centering. So I think anytime you can get a 9 on any major Hall of Famer like George Brett was, is awesome. And obviously the Ozzie rookie card is super, super hard to get in anything other than a 7 or an 8. So there you go, guys. That was my big mail day. I'm actually most excited about that Mays card, because again, I didn't have that in a what I call like my collector grade, and then the other card I was super stoked about was the 58 Mays. So I said in my collecting goals for the year I was trying to further my Mays collection, and now it's +2. I've got 2 more Mays cards that I didn't have going into the year, so that makes me feel very good. So I've moved the needle on some collections, and I'm feeling very good about where I'm at with my Mays cards now, because I got a 50s card. So if I can knock off one more 50s card this year, the 56 or the 54, I'll be very happy. So, but there you have it, guys. My vintage mail card mail day. Let me know what you think, what your favorite cards are, and I'll see you next time. And I'll probably be posting this video from Chile, so say hi. And if you're from Santiago, let me know, because that's where I'll be staying for a little while, and then Tenho, multiple places. But see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.